Lord, you are good and your mercy endureth forever. Thank you, God, for blessing us with this opportunity to stream. Thank you for these days off of rest and recuperation. We ask, Lord, that you would allow this time, this week, to be a blessing, not just to our physical bodies, but our minds, our hearts, and our souls. Bless each and every one out there that would come through to visit, pop in, whether they are going through something or whether they're just here for a smile or a laugh. Encourage all the Falcon fans. We know it hasn't been easy. It's been up and down. It's been a roller coaster. We used to it. But we ask you that you would just encourage everybody on today. Those that would come in, hopefully they leave in a better space in which they came. That's our prayer today. In Jesus' name, amen. We are here, man. We are off all week long. So we're going to be streaming all week long. Let me see, it's 8:07 in the morning. I'm probably planning on doing at 8. Well, here it's 8. It's 11 on the East Coast. 10 Central. Then 9 Mountain Time. 8 Pacific Time. So we're going to plan on this time because we do want to get a few things done later on during the day, but we'll probably be here for a few hours. I just want to holler at y'all, check in with you, see how y'all doing. I know we got some folks on break. I'm on break all week. I know we got some students on break all week. I know we have some administrators, we got some teachers that are on break all week, whether you work at a college. Some of y'all might still be working the first couple days, but if you're at an elementary school or middle school or high school, you're probably already on your break. So shout out to all those teachers, and support staff members, and administrators that work on the daily to make sure our children are educated. You deserve this break, and I hope you get some rest and relaxation. So let's get into some of these games that happened yesterday. We had some good games yesterday. One more game today, obviously. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Los Angeles Chargers. That should be a really good game, actually. And I'm looking forward to that one later. I got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry on my fantasy team. So I'll be counting on them to bring it home. And then we got a whole slate of games on Thursday. You should know that. All right. All right, there we go. Okay, y'all. So we had the Eagles beat the Rams last night. We had the Eagles beat the Rams. The Eagles defeated the Rams 37-20. And let me see if I can actually click on this because Saquon Barkley, he had the game of all games yesterday. Saquon Barkley snapped last night. He just went ballistic. I hope you can see that. 26 carries for 255 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's not even a question of whether or not Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the league. He is the best running back in the league. New York Giants, I don't know what you were thinking. Honestly, I think the New York Giants did this man a favor. I know they said, salary cap reasons. We don't know. But honestly, I feel like y'all been holding Saquon back. The New York Giants have been holding Saquon back during his career, throughout his time in the NFL. They haven't put a competent team around that young man. And now he gets his chance to shine on a team with championship aspirations. Saquon is doing his thing, man. 255 y'all. This is not Madden, y'all. He's playing against another professional NFL team. 255 and a good team at that. The Rams are a good team. The Rams are not a scrub team. They are a team that still had a chance, and you could say still have an outside chance of winning their division. Even though it's a pretty bad division as far as records go, all the teams being so close, but they stomped on a really good Rams team. And the number one reason is Saquon Barkley. They could not stop that run. One thing I want to say about the Eagles is I believe Howie Roseman is that he's that GM. He's the GM for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that Howie Roseman has built this team. He's built this team to be a running football team. Okay, this team, everybody knows the Philadelphia Eagles want to run the ball. Everybody knows that. They want to run. They want to ground and pound. They want to tush push. They want to run you into the ground, y'all. Everybody knows that. And yet you can't stop it. At a certain point, you can't stop it. They've had running backs in the past that may have not fit that system. They had Devondre Swift last year. he wasn't a great fit for that system. He's more of a speedy back without the power. He's flashy, but he didn't get you those tough yards that you needed. Put in Saquon Barkley 1 year after having Devondre Swift, and you see the difference it makes. This guy, not only does he have vision, not only does he have power, but he's got speed, and he gets better in the second half. He looks like a better running back and a more fresher running back than he looks in the first half. He really has changed the dynamic of this team as a Philadelphia Eagle. This offense is almost unstoppable. They didn't have one of their top weapons yesterday in Devontae Smith. He was out, one of their top receivers. A.J. Brown did his thing, over 100 yards and a touchdown. But Saquon Barkley, man. Saquon Barkley is amazing. Just amazing. I was flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted, man. I really was. I really was. So, yeah, that was a great. And he caught 4 passes for 47 yards as well. So he had 300 yards of offense by himself. He had over 300 yards of offense by himself. So what a great game by Saquon Barkley, man. I can't say it enough. This dude is on track to be in the MVP race. Absolutely. 26 carries, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns. He averaged 9 yards 9.8. You might as well round that up to 10. That's a first down every time he touched the ball. And then average 11 yards per catch. That's just phenomenal, man. That's phenomenal, bro. Saquon doing his thing. And then let's go on to the other games. But yeah, Eagles get a big win. We're going to talk about what happened in some of those other games in the NFC East because those had big implications in that division. Green Bay Packers, they beat the brakes off the 49ers yesterday. 49ers, pretty much their whole team is like on the sideline or on IR now, except for George Kittle and, Christian McCaffrey's not on IR, but he was for 75% of the season. 49ers, I mean, you can put one nail in the coffin pretty much for this season. They lose next week against the Bills for sure. You can call it a wrap right now if you want to because they are last in their division as it is. So they would need to I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if they can technically still win their division. They've lost. They've already played each team once. They've played the Seahawks twice. They lost to the Seahawks the second time. They lost to the Cardinals, and they lost to the Rams the first time around. So I guess if they win their last two, there's an outside chance that they could win their division. But, I mean, that's like a pipe dream right now. That team is broken, battered, bumped up, bruised. Yeah, it's just not going the 49ers way this season. And it looks like they will be missing the playoffs after the Super Bowl last year. Something to be said about the Super Bowl. The team that loses the Super Bowl the year before. Something happens to that team. They just do not come out with the same the same health, the same in mental health and physical health. The Brandon Ayuk situation, he wanted his money. He ended up holding out. He got his money. Then he goes out with the ACL injury. Christian McCaffrey, something happened with both of his Achilles before he even touches the preseason, he doesn't play, and then you're thinking that everything's all right because Kyle Shanahan saying, "Oh yeah, he's fine," and then he's not fine. He misses like the first 10 games of the year, and you're like, "What is going on, man?" And then they just keep dropping like flies, keep dropping like flies. So, yeah, I just think this is a snake bit year for the 49ers, a team that a lot of people had a lot of hopes in this year for going back to the Super Bowl and trying to challenge Patrick Mahomes again in the Super Bowl. But we don't know if Patrick Mahomes is going. That's the thing. We don't know if he's going. We don't know for sure. we like to say that he is because they bid 3 times. They're trying to go 3 times in a row, but yeah, we don't know if Patrick Mahomes is going or not. What's happening, Christy? Welcome in. Happy Motivational Monday. Just going over some of these games yesterday. So yeah, the 49ers got the brakes beat off of them. Packers did what they needed to do. They handled business. This was a game I was surprised. I was a little bit surprised. Not necessarily that the Cardinals lost, or maybe I was surprised the Cardinals lost. Cardinals have been playing really good football, and sometimes I think this is a case where your bye week actually is a detriment to your team. The Cardinals have been playing really good football the last few weeks. They have been playing great football before the bye week, and I think them getting that break, it sort of breaks their momentum. They've been clicking on all cylinders. I don't really think they needed that break. I think they wanted to keep on trucking. But I think that the Seahawks had a big win last week against the 49ers, and they were playing at home. They were playing inspired. No, it wasn't a pretty victory by any means, but they played with passion. They played tough, and they got the job done. They held an offense that was really cooking. That Arizona Cardinals offense had really been clicking on all cylinders. Kyler Murray, James Conner, and then Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride. That offense have been putting up some good numbers, some gaudy numbers this year, but they held them to 6 points, and that's huge. That was a huge victory for the Seahawks. So now they improved to 6-5. Now the Cardinals dropped to 6-5. I believe the Rams and the 49ers are at 5-6. So that division is still kind of up for grabs, so to speak, depending on the tiebreakers there. So yeah, big win for the Seahawks yesterday. That defense really came to play. There was a defensive touchdown in that game scored by the Seattle Seahawks defense. So that pretty much turned the tide of that game. Next game. And you like, how do I know all this stuff? I'll be watching Red Zone. I'll be watching Red Zone. To see chickens prep for their opponents. Yes, they do. First year head coach Mike Macdonald, who came over from the Baltimore Ravens. He's a defensive guy, defensive guru, and you can kind of see where his bread is buttered. You know what I'm saying? Even if the offense isn't playing well, he can have that defense ready to go. And you definitely see the defensive preparation by a Mike Macdonald team. And on the converse, you see the team he just left, the Baltimore Ravens, are struggling on defense now. Zach Orr, I believe, took over for Mike Macdonald. And Zach Orr and that unit is, they are one of the worst teams against the pass in the entire league. Okay. They are one of the worst teams in the league against the pass. So what a difference a defensive coordinator makes. We know that. I mean, come on now. I'm not going to bash the guy right now because we're on a bye week. But we can see that ourselves. I mean, even though we had a porous record last year, it wasn't because of our defense. I can't even think of the guy we had last year, but he had us playing well. Was it Newsel? His name was something like that. Newsel. Denver Broncos defeat the Las Vegas Raiders 29-19. And Bo Nix has quietly creeped into the Rookie of the Year conversation. He's just been going about his business, doing his thing. We know we helped that cause last week. He looked like Joe Montana out there against us, or Tom Brady, or whatever you want to call him, Peyton Manning. He looked like a Pro Bowl quarterback this week. 2 touchdowns, 273 yards, no interceptions. Throws to his main guy, Cortland Sutton. 2 touchdowns for Cortland Sutton. Gardner Minshew got hurt in this one. Amir Abdullah actually had a good game for the Las Vegas Raiders. He subbed in for Madison, their starting running back, who was out for the week. I did pick up Abdullah in my fantasy league, and he actually paid some really good dividends. So I'm glad I did pick him up. But Denver Broncos took control of this game in the third and fourth quarter. This was a close game. The Raiders were leading this game early, but the Broncos ultimately get it done on the road. They improved to 7-5. And then we have Christy said with the offense, I thought the Raiders held them well in the first quarter. Yeah, they did. They did. The Raiders had that lead in the first, but tailed off. They got a lot of guys hurt too as well, but everybody in the league has people injured right now. So, I don't use that as an excuse. Everybody has people on IR. We're entering that last stretch of the season. This was a really good game right here. Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans. The Titans tried their darndest. They tried their hardest to lose this game. That's all I can say. The Titans really tried to lose this game. They had this game won, and then Will Levis throws a horrible pick 6 in this game in the fourth quarter. Texans take the lead. And then Tennessee. Look, here's the thing about the Titans. They're a top 10 defense statistically. Their offense just hasn't held up over this year. They've been flip-flopping quarterbacks. Will Levis, Mason Rudolph. You don't know who's the guy. Calvin Ridley's been upset because he haven't been getting the touches, but that's been corrected. He should have been a focal point of the offense all along. I'm not sure why he wasn't, because he is a top talent. But now they got this guy, Nick Westbrook-Akina. That guy scored, I think he scored like 7 touchdowns in his last 8 games or 6 games or something like that. This guy has been amazing. He hasn't really even been on the fantasy radar, which is crazy because I think some people think it's a fluke and they're looking at the Titans quarterback situation and like, man, I don't trust Will Levis. I don't trust Mason Rudolph, but Westbrook-Akina is getting in the end zone almost every freaking week. So yes, your boy picked him up in fantasy and he got in the end zone again. So if you are playing fantasy football and you need a wide receiver on the waiver wire because one of your receivers are on the bye week, pick up Nick Westbrook-Akina. I'm telling you, this guy will not disappoint. got me another touchdown yesterday. So pick him up, man. He's a sneaky pick that's almost on everybody's waiver wire. So yeah, Will Levis threw 2 touchdowns. He threw a huge touchdown after giving up that lead, after throwing that pick 6. He comes back, throws a touchdown to the tight end. I don't know what his name is, Okoro or something like that. Oh no, Okonkwo. That's a tongue twister. Okonkwo. And like a 70-yard pass where nobody touched that guy. And they go ahead and win that game. I was kind of surprised by this game, though. I thought the Houston Texans would run away with this one. I thought the Tennessee Titans might be playing like catch up in this game. But yeah, the Texans, they cannot protect CJ Stroud. Let me see if it shows how many sacks. I think they had 10 sacks. I want to say they had at least 10 sacks. Maybe this is not the game I'm thinking of. That's not the game I'm thinking of. But okay, so Will Levis actually was sacked 8 times. Yeah, that's not the game I'm thinking of. CJ Stroud was sacked 4 times. Will Levis was sacked 8 times. That's crazy. That's a lot of sacks, man. 11 penalties for the Texans. That's crazy. And the Titans actually dominated in time of possession, almost 10 minutes more than the Texans. So CJ Stroud threw 2 bad interceptions. And yeah, Titans get that victory, man. Remember the Titans, baby. And then what we got here? Remember the Titans. We already did Seahawks, Cardinals. Oh, I'm going up. The Lions versus the Colts. Now I feel some type of way about this game. Lions versus Colts. What's happening? Yeah. What's going on, Sports Productions? Yes, early here, 8:30. It's raining. We've been getting rain all morning here, so it is I don't say a wonderful feeling, but I kind of like waking up to the sound of rain. You know, it's very relaxing. Makes me feel like the holidays. You know what I'm saying? So, but welcome in, Sports Productions. What was the next game? Oh, Lions versus Colts. Lions versus Colts. The Lions have been dominating teams. Like, I think they're destined to go to the Super Bowl this year. I think it's the Lions division and conference to lose. They are 10-1 after this win this week. They have been averaging over 30 points a game this season. They've scored over 50 points, I believe, more than once. I believe twice. And I know they scored over 40. It has been a crazy year for the Lions. Their run game is pretty ridiculous with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Jared Goff did not throw a touchdown this week, much to my chagrin, because he is on my fantasy team now. But he didn't have a bad game, but he just didn't throw any touchdowns because they ran them all in. So Jahmyr Gibbs, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jameson Williams led the receiving, 5 receptions for 64 yards. It was a game that was kind of close early, but, late they pulled away and they didn't really have the pedal to the metal. They didn't have the foot on the gas. They kind of let the foot off the gas. So, you know what? I think the Lions are definitely going. I'm not going to say your Bills aren't going. I'm not going to say that. I I'd say it's definitely between three teams in the AFC. It's between the Bills, it's between the Ravens, and you already know the other team, the Chiefs. One of those three teams. One of those three teams. Let me catch up. You say Bills versus Lions Super Bowl, possibly. Okay. Hey, it's quite possible. Bills actually play the Lions December 15th. Ooh, that's actually a sneaky good game right there. That's only in a couple weeks. Okay. I'll be checking that out. Saquon Barkley. Now, Saquon is on a tear. We talked about him earlier. That dude he's got to be top 3 MVP candidate right now. He had over 300 yards of offense by himself yesterday. That is just ridiculous. All right. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New York Giants. Now, this is a game right here where I honestly feel like, why did the Giants even come out and play? Why did y'all even come out and play? You got rid of Daniel Jones last week. For y'all that didn't see it, the Buccaneers and the Giants were pretty much, they had a zero. They had a fat goose egg for, I want to say, it's a 60-minute game. I want to say they had a goose egg for about 50 minutes of that game. And the New York Giants score in the fourth quarter. And do you know what I saw? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not hating. I'm not throwing shade, but they were down 30-0. The New York Giants running back scores in the fourth quarter, and he's dancing. He's dancing like he did something. He's dancing. And I'm like, you're getting beat like you stole something. Why are you dancing, getting in the end zone? I don't think you should be dancing at all at that point. Like, I don't think you should be dancing at all. I think it was Singletary. He's dancing like he made a game-changing play. Like, for 50 minutes, you weren't doing anything. The first 50 minutes of the game, you got your butt whooped. And then now you're dancing because you got one touchdown. But this team is dominating you. I like, bro, if you get blown out, I'm sorry. To me, that's an unwritten rule. You don't celebrate. You don't do a dance. You don't do a choreographed touchdown celebration. You just hand the ball back to the official and go run back to your sideline, man. You don't dance when you're getting beat 30-7. Come on, man. To me, that's just foolish. Let's see. Good game. Yes, good game yesterday. Yeah. That was a great game. And I'll go back and touch on that game because I talked about that earlier. Yeah, Saquon Barkley had 42 fantasy points in your fantasy league. Nice. We knew that they would have a good game, and the Bucs are 2 games from clinching the league. We ain't going to talk about what they are or could do. We're just going to talk about what's currently happening right now. Because there's still a lot of season to play. New York Giants running back MVP. Yeah, no celebration. Nah, we ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that. It doesn't matter if they have 2 games against the Panthers. We still have 1 game against the Panthers. We only lost 1 game in that division. We only lost 1 game. So we beat them twice. You got to remember that too. We beat them twice. As a Bills fan, I'm calm because we have a big lead in the division. No, I agree with you though, Christy. I agree that we can't afford to play around. We've got to come back and get back on track. Absolutely. But yeah, this game was a one-sided affair dominated by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Absolutely. New York Giants are a shell of themselves, trading away their starting quarterback for nothing, not trading, but just releasing him and putting him on the waiver wire. That's insane. I don't know if I ever see that in week 12 of the season where they just released the starting quarterback. And then him give his goodbye speech during his weekly press conference. Oh my God. All right, here was a good game, man. Chiefs versus Carolina Panthers. This was a really good game. And I wasn't surprised. The Panthers have been actually playing some good football lately. Bryce Young back in the starting QB position, and he's been making some plays. 263 passing yards, a touchdown. Chuba Hubbard got in there for a touchdown. But if you're in the fourth quarter and it's under 2 minutes to go, Patrick Mahomes gets the ball with 30 seconds or more, you could pretty much count that as an L. And Carolina tied up the game, and I think Patrick Mahomes had about 1 minute and 40 seconds left to go. I didn't even bother watching the rest. I knew what was going to happen. They were going to score a touchdown or kick a field goal, and that's what Patrick Mahomes does. You know what I'm saying? If it's a close game, man, he's going to find a way to win it. So it's all good. It's all good. We've been ahead before and then fizzled out at the end. It's all good. We ain't going to talk about what happened. We just going to stay in the moment. We're going to stay positive. We got the lead right now. We handle our business. That's all we can control. We ain't going to talk about the past. We're going to talk about what the Bucs can do. All we can control, all the Falcons can control is how the Falcons play. Can't control what happens outside of the building. We just got to stay focused on our play. Yeah. Because easy schedules, that's how you get tripped up. It ain't about the easy schedule. You still got to show up every Sunday. We're gonna get to the Commanders game in just a minute. No, I'm actually not like Raheem. Maybe you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm saying that regardless of what the Bucs do, the Falcons have to play their games. So spending time on what the Bucs are currently, their win streak, and I'm tunnel like Falcons. As long as we win our games, we're good. Plain and simple. As long as we win our games, we're good, and we need to win. I'm with you where we can't afford to misstep anymore. We cannot afford to do it. But yeah, you can't be looking over your shoulder and all that type of stuff because you're bound to lose because you're gonna be worrying about everything else but your games. We can't be worrying about what the Bucs are doing. Can't worry about what the Saints are doing or the Panthers. You feel me? I'm just saying Falcons need to worry about what the Falcons are doing. That's it. That's all. That's all I'm worried about. I ain't worried about the Bucs. I ain't worried about the Saints. I ain't worried about the Panthers. I'm worried about the Falcons winning a big chunk of these last 5 games we have on the season, or 6? Is it 6? 6 games. I'm worried about us winning at least 46 games. That's what I'm worried about. We got to win at least 4. I don't care which 4 they are. We got to win 4 of them to to win this division. Sports prediction. Say, I just watching y'all have a conversation because I'm not NFC South. No, I agree. I absolutely agree. We can't come out. We can't go into this Chargers game the way we went into the bye week. Absolutely. We looked horrible. We looked horrible going into the bye week. Absolutely. I can't be eating those leftovers. I don't know. We might need some home cooking. I don't know what it's been. Well, I know it ain't been the defense. I know that. The defense haven't done anything. So that's what I'm hoping that we do the most is make some adjustments to how we play the defense. I don't know if Jimmy Lake, I haven't heard any rumblings about him being relieved of his duties. So I'm hoping that somebody is helping him strategize. I'm hoping that they realize, hey, this is what we've been doing isn't working. We went back and looked at the tape. We need to make some adjustments schematically. Okay. Not putting Lorenzo Carter back in, not that type of adjustment. Like schematically, we need to change the scheme. Like we need to be more aggressive. We need to be in the face of the wide receivers. Cover 3 shell ain't working. Like I'm hoping we make those type of adjustments. So I'm all with you. I'm all with you on that. Absolutely. Well, yeah, the adjustments we need to make. We need to make those. And they should have already been made by this time. Because now, I mean, we got a game in less than a week. We should have already made those adjustments. Maybe they're keeping them in-house, but I want to see what the team looks like coming out. I want to see what they look like. So that was the Carolina Chiefs game. That was a really good game. Came down to the last second, but like I pretty much, knew what was going to happen in that game once Patrick Mahomes got the ball with less than 2 minutes to go. Then we had Dolphins, Patriots. That's pretty one-sided. Patriots were getting the brakes beat off them, 31-0, as you can see in this game. And then they scored 15 points to make themselves feel better about themselves. But Tua had 4 touchdowns in this one, probably his best game of the season, actually. Jalen Waddle, welcome to the 2024 season. Everybody's been wondering what happened to Jalen Waddle. But yeah, Tua hit Achane for a couple touchdowns. He hit Jonnu Smith for a touchdown, and he hit Jalen Waddle for a touchdown. So, yeah, good game by the Dolphins. 5-6 they improved, and the Patriots dropped to 3-9. What in the world, Bo? What in the world, man? What's been going on with you? What has been going on with you? The Godfather himself. We appreciate you, man. Man, we just talking about these games yesterday. Man, I think there will be a game where everyone will touch the ball because the new contract agreements and discussions will come up soon. I want to get to this game. What is this game? What's the game I'm trying to get to? Oh, yeah. This one right here. Next up. The Commanders of Washington faced off against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are a good team by any means. I don't think the Commanders are a bad team. But there's something to be said about a team that is changing the culture. Okay. Team that's trying to change a losing culture. And the Commanders are one of those teams, kind of like us, looking to change some of their past or recent history. Shiny new quarterback. Ours happen to be old. Theirs happen to be new. They got the young phenom, Jaden Daniels, who been lighting the league on fire. But that flame is getting a little low lately. That fire was burning hot, but the flame been getting a little low lately. 2 consecutive losses for the Washington Commanders after winning some miraculous type games, some miraculous type endings for the Washington Commanders. You thought that this might be a season of destiny for them, but now after watching the Philadelphia Eagles handle their business and seeing the Commanders slide the past few games, you're thinking that this Commanders team may have already blown their wad. They may have ran out of ammo. They might not have any more ammo. They may have just blown it all a little bit too early. So this game, if you look at this game, 6-13. If I'm not mistaken, there were 16 points scored in the first 3 quarters of this game. Is that? No, I am mistaken, actually. 19. There were 19 points scored. In the first 3 quarters of this game. And then you look at the 4th quarter, the Dallas Cowboys by themselves scored 24. And the Commanders scored 17. This was a back and forth crazy game in the 4th quarter. It looked as if the Cowboys were going to easily win this game after a huge touchdown from Cooper Rush to what is that guy's name? Schoonmaker, the tight end. What is his name? Yeah, Schoonmaker, tight end, who I picked up on my fantasy football after Ferguson was ruled out with a concussion. And then CeeDee Lamb had 10 receptions for 67 yards. And it looked like the Cowboys had this game. And then Washington Commanders come down and score real quick. Then the Cowboys give them the ball back. And it's looking like, okay, well, what are the Commanders going to do? They come down and score real quick again. And then the Cowboys come down and score. And then you only got about 2 minutes left. And you're like, okay, well, this game is almost over. The Cowboys were up by 7 points at that time. And you're like, okay, well, there are about 30 seconds left, 50 to 45 seconds left in this game. This one's pretty much over, barring a miracle. Well, they get the miracle. Terry McLaurin scores an 80-plus yard touchdown, and nobody touches him. All they need to do is kick the extra point to tie up the game, and Siebert misses the extra point. He misses the extra point. And the Commanders are down by 1 point. They try the onside kick, and the guy from the Cowboys runs it back for a touchdown when all he should have done probably is just dive on the ball, and then they just kneel it out. But he wanted to score his touchdown and get his moment of fame. So he gets his moment of fame. And the Cowboys end up winning a crazy game, man. 34-26. That's just a backbreaker for the Commanders, though. If they get that game to go into overtime, that they have a chance to win that game. They had all the momentum at that point. The crowd was rocking, and then the extra point is missed. That was just a heartbreaker, man. That was a heartbreaker. Jaden Daniels, he still had 30 fantasy points. I'm here. So, oh yeah, come on. We talk about. Oh wait, I can't miss out on the food. All my folks moving, hunting stands, getting ready for a gumbo, fried turkey, football. Oh man, come on now. Big Lo said, "Can't beat it. I'm smoking the turkey this year." Yes, sir. You got the brine ready. My son will start brightening the day. Cuffing CD Lamb. 10 catches for 60 something. I know, man. I know. But I got to take what I can get, man. I traded for CD in hopes that, that this PPR league still going to work. Even if he don't get the yards, he's still getting the catches. You feel me? Jaden Daniels still had 30 fantasy points. Absolutely. Yeah, that huge catch and run by Terry McLaurin helped his numbers out a lot. Big Lois, I'm start brining tomorrow. And Christy said, I'm not sad about that game one bit. Okay. So yeah, that might have been the upset of the day. Struggling Cowboys team that had been looking really bad, getting beat by 20 points for at least 3 consecutive weeks. Shocked the Commanders, man. They shocked the Commanders. Vikings, Bears, that was another divisional game. And not a lot of people are talking about the Vikings anymore, but the Vikings are 9-2, y'all. They're not slouches, but everybody's talking about the Lions, as they should be. But the Vikings are 9-2. They are right on the heels of the Detroit Lions. They can still win that division. Sam Darnold, 2 touchdowns, over 300 yards passing. Jordan Addison. Now, this guy I have a love-hate relationship with. Jordan freaking Addison. I put him in the game on my fantasy team. He either does nothing or he gets hurt. I'd say, you know what? There's no way that they're going to allow Justin Jefferson to be single covered. So Jordan Addison can cook. He can cook all game. He's going to get singled up all game. Justin Jefferson going to be doubled. He's going to be tripled. So let me get Jordan Addison on my fantasy team. He's let me down nearly all year. I traded for him. And I said, you know what, Jordan Addison, I'm sitting you on the bench this week. I just can't do it anymore, bro. And he has the best game of his career. Not of his career, but of the season. He has the best game of the season. Because Justin Jefferson was out last year for quite a bit, and Addison was the number one. He was cooking. He had the best game of the season, and I had him on the bench. He had almost 30 fantasy points in my league. And I'm just like, bruh, Jordan Addison hates me. He just hates me. I don't know what it is. He just hates me. He just hates me, man. 30-27, big win for the Vikings, though, to keep pace with the Lions that I mentioned. Caleb Williams had a pretty good game. Actually had a really good game. Not as accurate as you would like, but 340 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. DJ Moore got in that end zone. Jordan Addison, like I said, 8 receptions, 162 yards receiving and a touchdown. Aaron Jones eclipsed 100 yards and had a touchdown as well. Very closely contested game there. The Vikings finally scored 30 points. Hey, it don't matter how you win, man, as long as you keep stacking them wins. And they got 9 of them things. That's impressive. You got 9 of them things. So I think I went through all the games, but let me go back. Browns, Steelers, the Browns honestly pull off another huge upset. That was another upset of the week. Jameis Winston. Let me say something about Jameis Winston, bro. I could stand Jameis Winston pretty much his whole career because I mean, this dude is just so annoying. And then after what he did last year, where he said we changed the play so Jamal Williams could get that funky touchdown against the Falcons, week 17 or 18 or whatever it was, the last week of this season, when that game was over. I really hated Jameis. And then watching all of these viral press conferences and viral sound bites of Jameis Winston lately for the last few weeks, I have, since he's not in the NFC South anymore, he spent a lot of his time either with the Saints or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I kind of had to hate the guy. But lately, man, this dude has me cracking up. Like before the game, and I want to say like he kind of sounds like a character in a movie or something. I don't know if that's his real persona or if he's like channeling some character out of a movie, but you cannot find a better soundbite than a Jameis Winston motivational speech before a game. If you don't believe me, just go pull up Jameis Winston pregame speech to his teammates. Like, just hilarious, man. And then I saw this other, a couple other things that popped up on my timeline. Just with him, like, trying to get the defense to jump off sides and, like, just, oh my gosh. Jameis Winston, man, he might be one of the funniest dudes in the NFL. He might be one of the funniest dudes in the NFL. So let's go back to this Eagles versus Rams game last night. Philadelphia Eagles improved to 9-2 after a monster game by Saquon Barkley. 255 rushing yards, 2 of them tutties. A.J. Brown, big-time game. No Devontae Smith. 6 receptions, 109 yards receiving, and a tutty. Saquon Barkley added another 44 yards receiving with four receptions. That puts him over 300 all-purpose yards in one game. Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the football league. Not that there's a running back in the basketball league. I said earlier, the Giants were holding this man back. They were holding this man back. They didn't put the team around him that should have been around him. They drafted an average to below average quarterback. They didn't put the receivers around him that he needed. They didn't bolster the offensive line that he needed. And then they try to say that they didn't want to pay the man when he's pretty much been the whole offense for that team all the time he's been there. And he's been loyal to the New York Giants. They didn't want to pay him. They tried to say he was getting slow. And he was injured quite a bit. He was injured. He had some injury history there. But now you see the true Saquon Barkley stand up. This guy looks fast, strong, smart. Look at the cuts. I'm watching him make the cuts right now. The cutbacks are ridiculous. His vision, his speed, his power. And he even looks faster in the second half. And that's the thing. A lot of his longest runs of the season are in the second half of football games. That Philadelphia offensive line is huge, is massive. You know that. The Philadelphia Eagles, their identity is that they want to run the football on you, and they will early and often. It's just ridiculous what Philadelphia has. They have an embarrassment of riches right now. And if you load up on Saquon, then you got to worry about Jalen Hurts. Then you got to worry about Dallas Goedert. Then you got to worry about AJ Brown. Then you got to worry about Devontae Smith. So, I mean, Howie Roseman has built this offense into a machine. This is going to be a team to be reckoned with. If there is one team that can maybe give the Detroit Lions issues, it would be the Philadelphia Eagles this season. Sports production say, oh, wait, got Christy first. He's definitely eating. 42 fantasy points last night for Saquon. Christy said I cut that game off. Midway through the fourth, I knew the Eagles were going to peck them all out of that game. And Saquon, he did more than peck. He poked some eyes out. Shoot. Good game tonight. Absolutely. We got the Ravens. Sports production said the hurdles, the spins. We got the Ravens versus the Chargers tonight. We got the Brother Bowl, the Harbaugh Bowl, the Battle of the Siblings Bowl, whatever you want to call it. Big brother versus little brother. John Harbaugh versus Jim Harbaugh. It's going to be a really good game tonight. I believe that. I'm hoping that, Lamar, Derrick Henry do their thing. My fantasy league, I'm down 24 points going into this game. I'll also have Bateman and the Chargers defense, just because the Chargers defense are a top 5 defense. So I expect them to make a few plays, but I'm hoping that it won't matter what they give me, because Lamar, Henry will get up. They'll do enough for me to get this dub. If he has 40, I would love that. I would love if Lamar has 40. I would love that. Good game tonight as well. What was the game of the week for y'all? What was the game of the week for y'all? What was the most entertaining game yesterday? Let me know. Down 80 points. Ooh, Lord, have mercy. Do you have Jesus on your roster? Because only Jesus might be able to help you. You better pick up Jesus Christ off your waiver wire. It might literally take a miracle, bro. I don't know. Most entertaining game of the year is of the week. Panthers Chiefs. Yeah, that was a pretty entertaining game. Sports production say, I thought the Cowboys versus the Commanders. I'll probably pick that game. Cowboys Commanders. I picked that one as the most entertaining. It was just so much scoring. It was 41 points scored. There were 41 points scored in the fourth quarter alone. Christy says the surprising ones, the Cowboys, Panthers keeping up, and Bills. Okay. Wait. The Bills play yesterday? The Bills didn't play, right? Did the Bills play? Oh, they're on the bye week. I want to go back. I'm like, how did I miss the Bills game? Or maybe I'm just tripping. Oh, did it? Oh, yeah, they won last week. Okay. Let's look at going forward. Okay, we know what we got tonight. We got Ravens Chargers tonight. Thursday. Thursday's going to be a huge slate of games, and we have a Black Friday game this week. I think it's the first Black. Is this the first Black Friday game ever? Okay. Is this the first Black Friday game ever? Can anybody confirm that for me? I think it is. It's Amazon Prime Black Friday Productions. This Friday is Raiders versus Chiefs. Raiders versus Chiefs at noon. Okay, so it's not the first one. So second one. Second annual Black Friday Productions game. Chiefs versus the Raiders. And then we know on Thursday, I'm just looking forward to Thursday, man. Bears versus Lions. That's going to be huge for my team. I got Jared Goff playing fantasy football that day, first thing in the morning. That's going to be wonderful on Thanksgiving Day. Giants versus Cowboys. I got CeeDee Lamb and Schoonmaker playing some football. And then Dolphins versus Packers that night, Thanksgiving night. I might pick up a Dontavian Wicks because I saw Romeo Dobbs go out with a like a head injury in yesterday's game for the Packers. They throw the ball, but they also run a lot too. Josh Jacobs was such a great pickup. Whoever picked him up in fantasy, he's such a great pickup. Best thing on Thanksgiving this year, not any of the games, only the food. I mean, I love the food too, but I just love like watching the games and while I'm eating good food. Like it's just and then just having your family, there is just great. So it's all the factors combined. The games, the food, the family, just great times. Games sound like blowouts. That Bears-Lions game may be a little closer than you realize. And that Giants versus Cowboys game, I mean, the Cowboys might be able to get that one. I'll be honest with you. I hope CD can cook in that game. For my sake, I hope CD is cooking. He looked a little happier yesterday. He looked really frustrated with Cooper Rush the past few weeks. But yeah, he definitely looked happier yesterday. So hopefully CD is getting his morale back, getting his good morale, good vibes back, and he can get cooking again. But like Big Low said earlier, man, you get 10 receptions, you hoping for 100 yards right there. You got 10 receptions for 67 yards. It's getting, little dink and dunks here and there. They run him on some jet sweeps and stuff like that. He really hadn't got behind the defense yet, but he might be able to do that against the Giants. The Giants are a broken team. That team is in such disarray. Just the way that whole Daniel Jones situation went down. I don't know if I've ever seen a player. Have you ever seen a starting quarterback get released after the trade deadline and just sit on the waiver wire? Who's ever seen that before? Who's ever seen a starting QB get released after the trade deadline mid-season and just sit on the waiver wire? Who's seen that before? I've never seen it. I've never seen a guy go up to the midweek press conference and give his bon voyage speech, and then a day later he's released, or not a day later, but a couple hours. No, was it a day later? Yeah, it was a day later. A day later he gets released. That was just so odd, wasn't it? And I feel like, what do you gain by releasing him? Because in the end, you still have to pay him his guaranteed money, right? You still have to pay him his guaranteed money. So he's still getting paid. Yeah, they had him on the scout team as the fourth string safety in practice. And I just don't understand. Like, here's my thing. Daniel Jones is who we thought he was. Denny Green, right? Denny Green. He's been the same guy his whole career. He haven't changed. It's not like he was this great quarterback that had this massive drop off, and now we're just like, oh man, what happened to Daniel Jones? He was such a great quarterback. No, he hasn't been good from the beginning. He has not been good from the beginning. He has not been good. Like, but you still signed him to a huge extension. You still signed him to a huge extension. I just don't understand, like, what they were looking at and what they were thinking. And then he's getting booed by his fans. He's getting booed, not in the games. Well, in the games too. He's getting booed going to practice. They're booing this man while he's walking into the practice facility. I've never seen anything like it. I blame the New York Giants. I don't blame Daniel Jones. He's the guy who everybody saw that he's been the past few years. Sometimes he has a couple good games a year, and every other game he's average. He's average. He's average to below average quarterback. That's what he's been the whole time in the NFL. And if they wanted to pay him $100 million to be average, Daniel Jones, everybody needs to have your agent. Whoever your agent is a genius, okay? He's a freaking genius. I need him negotiating my salary for my teacher's salary at my school. Come on, man. Like, if they're going to pay you to be below average QB $100 million, bro, by all means, take the money. Yes, it's going to come with scrutiny. Yes, it's going to come with being booed. Yes, it's going to come with criticism. It's going to come with all that. But $100 million? Absolutely. That's exactly my point, Christy. He's never shown us anything more than being an average guy. He's never shown us that he was Pro Bowl caliber. He's never shown anybody, let alone the Giants organization. So the fact that they gave him that $100 million, they set this guy up for failure on the field. Financially, he's set up for success. As a football player, they set him up for failure. But I hope he finds somewhere where he can go and just get a fresh start, no pressure, and just enjoy the game again. Because I get the feeling Daniel Jones doesn't even enjoy the game of football right now. Let him go somewhere where he can have fun, hang out with the guys, fall in love with football again, and, just stay under the radar. Just stay under the radar, man. Yeah, exactly. Like, they looked horrible. They looked horrible yesterday. Tommy DeVito, he couldn't even put up a touchdown. So it's clearly not a Daniel Jones problem that they had. It's a front office issue. Because they never should have let Saquon Barkley out of that building. Never. Like, everybody was saying, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? And weren't they a team on Hard Knocks? I think they were a team on Hard Knocks, and they documented it, right? They like showed them talking about how they're going to get rid of Saquon Barkley, like it was a great move, like innovative move. Oh, we're just going to shock the league. We're just going to be smarter than everybody. We're not going to bring Saquon back because we're going to save money. And what? just horrible. Just horrible. So Daniel Jones, man, I don't know you guys, but I'm in your corner, man. It's not your fault, brother. Not your fault. Hold on 1 second. All right. So make sure y'all can hear me. I think we back. I know they're regretting getting rid of Saquon now. Absolutely. Gotta get some food. Gotta take this medicine. Josh Jacobs had 3 touchdowns for the Packers yesterday. over 100 yards rushing on 26 carries. I think he forced over 10 missed tackles. That 49ers defense looked horrible yesterday. Horrible. I'm watching Pat McAfee show. Until they get to the playoffs. Yeah, they beat the brakes off the Niners yesterday. I know that Hard Knocks show has big ratings after Saquon left in the free agency. Jones asked to be released. Absolutely. They just made themselves look like clowns. The Giants are being laughed at for those decisions, and the world can see it through that show. Yeah, they came together like they were just some experts that were smarter than everybody else. Let's put our minds together and come up with this great elaborate plan that will shock the world. We know Saquon Barkley is washed, but everybody else doesn't know. So we're just going to release him. Yeah, okay. Crazy. So that's what we got. That's what we got today. Any other topics? Y'all can feel free to talk about them. That was the recap of this weekend's games. Getting a little breakfast in. And that's the thing. He went to a team within the same the NFC East. Such a bad move all the way around. If you were going to get rid of him, I would have traded him. Trade him to the AFC. No way I released this man and let the competition in your division get him. No way. Eagle saying, thank you. Another one man's trash is another man's treasure. And what about if he turned out to be the MVP of the league? You let the MVP go for nothing. You let that man just walk. Yeah, I expect that Giants they got to shake something up in that Giants front office. I know they fired coaches and stuff like that, but that general manager, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Well, you see what happened with the Jets. Okay, the Jets general manager got fired. They're going to blow that whole team up. That whole team is getting blown up in the offseason. I had a feeling that wasn't going to work.
Played consistent enough football. They have not played good enough football to make you think right now.
You're talking about the 49ers right now.
Now, again, maybe the switch will go on, and they'll show everybody that they are as good as they were last year. The problem is, like when they went to that game yesterday, the defensive line that they lined up against the Packers in the NFC divisional playoff game 10 months ago was entirely different. This defense this year has been different. They haven't gotten the pressure that they've needed. They haven't gotten the turnovers that they've needed. They haven't come through the big plays that they've needed. And when you introduce all the other injuries that have come along, you're missing George Kittle 1 week. You're missing Brandon Ayuk going here. Christian McCaffrey's not back till later. Brock Purdy's out yesterday. You know,
I'm not either. My coworker haven't been texting me about the 49ers. I'll tell you that. I told her, your team is done. Stick a fork in them. This is a spoon, though.
Okay, so you talk about all the good football.
But stick a fork in them.
We had a similar feeling about the Vikings a couple of years back, where the one season they're like 11-0 in one-score games, and then the next season, Kirk Cousins last year, they're like 0-8 in one-score games. It's like, damn, it feels like football gods blessed them all last year, and not so much this year. Well, the Minnesota Vikings are all the way back. They're 8-3 or 9-2, whatever they are. I think 8-2, 9-2, 9-2 now at this point after the big win yesterday over the Chicago Bears. Congrats to the Vikings. We love Kevin O'Connell. He is absolutely fantastic. And Sam Darnold also just absolutely dealing. When a lot of people are saying a lot of things about him on the internet. But let's go to the other side against with the Chicago Bears. They look good. Like Caleb Williams, I think, is developing. I think a lot of people would say that team looks good. Should have beat the Vikings yesterday. The Vikings are going to be in the entire thing, or could have beat the Vikings yesterday. The Vikings could be in the end. I seen some Chicago Bears fans' reactions this morning, and there's some stats that come out. I guess Eberflus is terrible in one-score games. Like just they lose those one-score games when other teams win. What is the future in Chicago? Shane Waldron leaves. This guy, Thomas Brown, comes in. Caleb looks much, much better. Eberflus' squad losing these close games, heartbreaking games. What does the future look like at this point in Chicago from what you're hearing?
Well, they're going to have to turn things around here down the stretch where they're 4-7 right now. That's not the kind of season that I think people in Chicago wanted. So they've got, 6 games here to go. And there's so much that's decided in this stretch run for so many franchises, right?
Welcome back.
And the owner.
Yeah, I'm not sad about the Niners, man. Their fans, a large percentage of their fans, a certain population of their fans talk a lot of nonsense.
He's gotten the ball out of his hands quicker. Last week it was 2.4 seconds that he took the snap till he delivered the football. And the offense has just looked
bang, bang, Niner gang, all that.
And that's great. But right now they're not winning football games.
I ain't been hearing none of that on the timeline. None of that. So I'm happy. The 49ers themselves, I really don't mind, but I just don't want to hear from my coworkers regarding the 49ers.
Sending in overtime. They make an onside kick as well. Good for them. They were down, 27-16? 27-16, I think, with 30 seconds left. I think that is when they got scored in 22 seconds. Onside kick, a little chopper, a little hesitant, hit off the shin, and then go and pick that up, and then Caleb throws a strike.
That's right. Bills versus the Niners. Sunday night.
Good, like fighting until the end. Good execution, especially with what they had to do time-wise. And then as clock expires, Santos hits a little.
My folks had no Calpine Star on in weeks. It feels good not to hear. The thing is, I think they've been humbled so far this year, so I don't think you're going to be hearing that for the whole rest of this season. I don't think you're going to be hearing that.
That's what Zito's friends said. We don't know how intoxicated or how real that is.
A lot of fire flushes as well. I know.
He's going out into a mosh pit out there to get through there. You got to do what you got to do, but you want to go see these Bears fans and let them know.
Yeah, I want y'all to beat the brakes off the Niners. Just demolish them.
Yeah, Shefty, with the coaches kind of on the block here, I know last week you said 7 to 10 maybe could be removed next year, but when we're talking about some teams that with their first year of these new head coaches, like the Ravens and the Patriots, are teams like
Alpha
that,
Play.
are those guys
What's up with it?
No matter what? Because obviously yesterday, as a New England Patriots fan, was one of the most pitiful.
Alpha Play said the Commanders game was so dumb. 48-3. That's a nice round number. I'll take it.
That's the way I operate. The owners are making so much money, they can do whatever they want. Now, I could say this, and it's a perfect example, right? Talking about New England, and then I spoke to some more people at the end of the week. Like, no. Robert Kraft is not doing anything. He's keeping draw mail. Okay, great. Now, again.
Yeah, I mean, the Commanders.
He's keeping draw mail. And then you go and you play a game.
Defense didn't show up. Defense didn't show up. You would hope that they would against a team that's been struggling. But Commanders defense did not show up against the Cowboys yesterday. And that fourth quarter was just wild. That fourth quarter was just wild.
What gets interesting to me is
it was a shootout.
Owners may have plans not to do anything, not want to do anything, and then inevitably there was
that kicker, what's his name? Seibert missing that extra point
so these last 6-7 weeks,
with 30 seconds left.
No matter what somebody thinks today, on Monday, November 20th,
That was huge.
Weeks,
that just deflated that whole stadium.
What happens with some of these franchises at the end of the season and what the owners ultimately decide to do?
You said you heard from your source that Kraft said at the end of the week, he's not doing anything. Kraft's not going to do anything with Coach Mayo. He's going to be patient. And then comment.
Justin Tucker been missing this year too, though. That's a crazy part. Justin Tucker has been missing this year as well. Is this the 49ers' worst season with Kyle Shanahan? I'm gonna have to say yes so far. The wins and losses. For sure, I think this is his worst year. This has been a atypical type season for Kyle Shanahan team and the 49ers. But you can kind of say, the law of averages says you're due for a year where you have a losing record. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're Mike Tomlin, a guy who does not have a losing season as a head coach. But yeah, this is probably Justin Tucker's worst season as a pro. He's missed several kicks. A lot of kickers struggling this year, actually. I heard some conspiracy theory that they changed the football or something at some time during the season, because the beginning of the year we were talking about how many kicks were being made from 55 plus, and now it seems like all the kickers are struggling. So I don't know. Did they change the football? What's going on with the kicking? The kicking has really taken a turn. Ha ha! Pun intended. Wide right, right left. I thought that was hilarious, actually, but the kicking has taken a turn for the worse. Kickers didn't show up. Who would say is washed? Who's washed? Who's washed? Justin Tucker? Justin Tucker's washed? The touchdown they got was insane. Terry McLaurin. Yeah, that was a crazy touchdown. One of the guys said that would have been a touchdown in two-hand touch. Two-hand touch. That would have been a touchdown. So, So yeah, what can you do? What can you do? What can you do in the end? Welcome in though, Alpha Sports. I don't know if I recognize the name. Might be your first time. If so, go ahead and join the fam, man. Go ahead and join the fam. 500 subscriber giveaway coming soon. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can have a chance to win a free NFL jersey of your choice. And then, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell because you want to be notified when that stream is. It's going to be happening soon. I guarantee you that. It's going to be happening soon, man. I would actually like to edit this. No. I want to edit this one. That's the one I want to edit. There we go. Look at Scary Terry's new name, Terry McLaren. Yeah, I've been calling him that for a minute. The McLaren. He is a McLaren. He's all speed out there. That guy. That was some of the worst pass defense I've ever seen in my life, though, during that play. Yeah, I've been calling him McLaren for a minute. I may not said it on here, but yeah. His name is definitely befitting of his offensive skill set. McLaren. Absolutely. High-end sports vehicle. Okay, so we got an update from Adam Schefter. This is live. Baltimore Ravens and Minnesota Vikings are the two likeliest teams to land free agent Daniel Jones, sources say. But they are hardly the only ones that are interested in his talents. 64 more. Let's go, baby. Jones wants to sign with the playoff contender, and what happens in week 12 is expected to influence his decision. So we got the Baltimore Ravens and the Minnesota Vikings that are the front runners to get Daniel Jones talent.
Raiders, despite the fact that the Raiders lost guard everything. I'd be surprised in the end if that's what he winds up doing. I think he's going to want to go to an environment that is a stable organization, a successful organization, playing meaningful games. So he'll clear, at least we expect him to clear waivers.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And then he'll get to choose his own home, which I would imagine will happen sooner rather than later.
I think he's in a good situation either way, though. He's still getting his money from the Giants. He's on the waiver wire. If he clears, he gets to choose whatever team he wants. So, and he has a potential of possibly winning a Super Bowl ring.
I would like to see everything about that. No matter where he goes, obviously, we assume he's going to do very well. Just like Saquon Barkley has done since leaving that building, that we got to watch the decision get made in the Hard Knocks offseason, which leads to AP Tubman's question for you, Chef.
Yeah, talk about that, Chef. Just that offseason Hard Knocks now rolled into Vanderbilt being cut. What Saquon Barkley is doing. We watched those clips and how much Mara loved Barkley and talked to Joe Stan like, I'm not going to sleep if Saquon goes to the Eagles. Does all of this lead to a hot seat for Joe Shane because of what has happened and what's played out and what we saw Mara say about all of it?
Well, look, he has stood behind is GM and owner, and he has said that he does not plan to make changes. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's his plan. That's what he wants to do. Except they have
64 subs.
home right now. You wonder if that's a factor.
Let's go.
There'll be more losing down the stretch that factors in.
Yeah, that's an interesting update to the Daniel Jones situation. Saquon Barkley and Xavier McKinney. Saquon Barkley was released, and Xavier McKinney as well. Don't forget that guy leads the league in interceptions. He plays for the Packers. The Giants had both of these guys on their team. Giants, what are you doing? The Giants, what are you doing? Oh, my gosh. It's like they're trying to be bad. They're trying to be bad.
There's no way that show is nobody's maybe ownership that doesn't know what this show was like this past year, but there's no way anybody signs up for that, right? No way.
You know what? Here's how I would sign up for that. If Patrick Mahomes were my quarterback, if Lamar Jackson were my quarterback, like if I had
That's just horrible.
long-standing, successful organization,
But then you're not. You're not going to let cameras in. This is just like Dallas Cowboys giving tours of the practice facility. Like nobody that wins championships actually does that. That's not,
You know, the team's got enough months.
But when the Giants are it's like, oh, so we have the owner admitting
Wow.
that he doesn't want to see them lose Saquon Barkley and he's going to lose sleep if he goes to the Eagles. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, that happened.
The Seahawks are now in first place in the NFC West after beating the Cardinals yesterday and after defeating the 49ers the week before in that division.
Listen, I love access, and I'm all for seeing what teams do, but to put that on in the offseason, if you're a team that has some major issues and question marks, that's ballsy.
Yeah, if you're an owner and you hate your GM, you've been looking for a reason. Sign them up.
Yeah. You know what? We'll see the thing.
Yeah, because we would normally not know all these conversations happening. We would not have a clue.
Daniel Jones is MVP.
You just don't know that they happened.
Yeah, right, and while
I
we
keep
watch
getting
it,
screen protector glass in my thumbs.
Which led even more to it. Is this how it is everywhere, or just this one place that doesn't win? It was a phenomenal Hard Knock should. These NFL films should win awards.
They do a great job. They do a great job. The issue is not with
Some of their stuff really good. The Hard Knocks that offseason one was yeah, that was an absolute needed.
Nobody was
Absolute dog. Congrats. Look at this. You see this from this weekend?
Oh,
actually his leg goes up.
oh.
If either one of his legs are blank, we're talking bad news. No penalty. No penalty called. Obviously, one of his offensive linemen comes to fight, which I appreciate. A couple more.
Did you see that Shedeur Sanders hit?
Yeah, especially with how much money I assume he's already made this line. How much money he comes from.
That hit that he took, like on his shin, like right below his knee on Saturday, they could have blown that guy's knee out.
Comes from this college football playoff and do a full chaos. There's absolute chaos about everything.
There's no penalty in that play either. I don't know how that wasn't a penalty. That was a dirty hit. That was a dirty hit, man. He could have blown his knee out. Shedeur Sanders hit. Oh, man.
Absolutely insane. College ball upside down.
And don't forget, Bryce Underwood for the $10 million.
Oh yeah, and then Juju Lewis, college football had a hell of a week. Wow, can't wait for tomorrow night with those rankings. Speaking of tomorrow night, let's talk about tonight. Big one, hardball, I believe, is what they're
Hardball Bowl. That's what they dubbing it tonight. Hardball Bowl.
That's so funny. Now, this feels like
But I like to call it the Brother Bowl or the I call it the Brother Bowl. Brother Bowl.
We should be looking forward to this evening, and what is some news we may need to know before we pick this game, Jeffy?
Well, I'll give you something to think about tonight here in this game. Roquan Smith. I'm not sure he's going to play the game.
Ooh, no Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
That's a big.
It's unlikely he's going to play the game.
Wow.
So now.
No Kyle Hamilton either.
This game against a Charger team that likes to run the football. That's going to be tough. That's a tough loss for the Ravens if, in fact, he does wind up missing the game tonight. And so
That could be huge.
I think that people are sleeping on the Chargers. I think the Chargers are one of the best teams in the AFC. I think they are
Adam Schefter said he thinks the Chargers are one of the best teams in the AFC. I said that. He said he thinks they're really underrated.
Well, I think Darius Butler picked them to win the Super Bowl. Was that last year? Last year, they would afford. They do it this year because we thought it would maybe it couldn't happen this quickly with our, especially if they had to cut money off the salary cap. They had to rebuild this whole thing. What he did was not only wake up a sleepy Super Bowl contender, whatever like the Browns did. It feels like in that locker room they've always had it. They were just waiting for somebody to bring it out. What a perfect marriage between the team and situation.
Obviously, his identity, once again, I always start with the quarterback. Do we have a quarterback? And we hear how Jim Harbaugh talks and thinks about his quarterback. And then the other side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball, to make the jump that they've made defense from year to year.
All right, y'all. We've been on for almost 2 hours. I'm going to go ahead and call it. I'm going to need to, get up and move around a little bit. Probably gonna try to get some of this homework done, and I will have to check in for my class tonight. But I appreciate y'all. I'll be back tomorrow. I may not be back tonight for a stream, but I might surprise you, maybe. But I'll for sure be back tomorrow morning. Let's say same time, 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific. Thank y'all for coming through as always. Thank you for supporting. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Sports Productions. Thank you for whoever else came through. Tell those that you love them while you can. This is Falcons Therapy, where Falcon fan can come and talk about Falcony type things, but where everybody's welcome. All right, y'all. Peace. Enjoy your Monday, and I'm out.